Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for July of 2025. We are going to jump right in here. You have this masculine energy card and this choice card, this javelina. I love this card. I don't know. I just like animals, Libra. That's what it is. But I feel for a lot of you that there could be a choice that you are making. You know, I think the masculine energy card is just saying that you are the one that is making the choice. You know, it's like you're taking action. Like, really, that's the word that I'm getting off of the card is action here, Libra. So you could be taking some actions in the month of July. Yeah, I definitely love this. You know, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I love 2 6s. 2 6s to me is kind of like confirmation for your path. You know, it kind of says that you're going the right direction. You're doing the right things that you need to do at this time to get to where you're going. So I definitely like to see that. And, you know, again, I think you could be making a lot of progress here with those cards. I do also feel like, you know, normally with a choice card, I would say that you have some sort of choice to make. But, you know, with these 2 6s, it would kind of say that you kind of have made a choice. Or if you haven't, you're about to make some sort of choice in your life very quickly. And so, of course, that could be a good thing as well. And sure, we'll take 2 cards there. Why not? You start the reading with the 3 of Swords, 6 of Wands, and the 9 of Pentacles coming up in the area of your current general energies for July. And a lot of people I've noticed have had the 3 of Swords in the month of July, which is interesting, but I kind of feel like it's a good thing. You know, number one, we do have a Mercury retrograde in the middle of the month, and, you know, it starts in the middle of the month. And, you know, it just seems to me like people are actually healing. I don't really feel like it's a bad thing at all. And again, as I always say, I don't think, you know, I think Mercury retrogrades get a bad rap. It's like, sure, you know, they can cause confusion, but they're not bad. You know, astrology isn't bad or good, really. But, you know, Mercury retrogrades are things to work with. And Mercury retrogrades also bring in a lot of good things, right? You know, Mercury retrogrades can bring in a lot of clarity, you know, based off of lessons that we've learned or things that we've been through. So again, they're kind of necessary and they do help. But this one in particular seems to be like a healing one, which again would be a good thing. And, you know, I've said to others that we also have the South Node in Virgo and we also have Chiron in Aries, which Chiron has been in Aries for an extended period of time, which is your opposite sign. So, you know, again, there could be some healing going on here. You have these 6 of Wands. Again, you have these 2 6s, which I love. I feel like if you're making any choices or, you know, any decisions, you are definitely going in the right direction. You know, 6 of Wands is a victory or a big success. So there could be some sort of big success coming in for you here, Libra. You know, I kind of feel, as I've said to you for a long time, Libra, that you have been trying to, like, you know, get something in your life that you're qualified for. That's always the message I get for you. And so I feel a lot of you actually are finally getting something that you're qualified for, or you're like doing something that you are more qualified for, like in work or business or some other area of your life. And I feel like that will be a good thing. You have the 9 of Pentacles. I feel really good about money this month. Everybody has had really good cards about finances, which is a good sign. Again, I'm not saying money is perfect, and you know, as a matter of fact, like I've said to everyone else, that, you know, since 2016, since I started going live, I've been telling people that money will change by 2026. Technically, Neptune leaves Pisces, technically. You know, yes, it's in Aries right now, I understand that, but it's going to retrograde into Pisces. So technically, it is there until 2026. I've been saying this since 2016, over 10 years ago now, that money will change when Neptune officially leaves Pisces, right? And I kind of haven't been wrong, Libra. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen, banks collapsing. You know, money is funny right now anyway. Money is basically meaningless, right? It's like when government just spend it on whatever they want and they print it whenever they want. I think that, you know, kind of ruins the trust a little bit, right? Which is very Neptune and Pisces. So, you know, I think on a personal level we'll be fine, of course, but you know, I think anything you can do to improve your financial situation would be a good idea with the 9 of Pentacles. I also kind of feel like it's like you're being valued more. You know, 9 of Pentacles is pre-Empress energy. And so if you are, you know, getting a job that you're actually qualified for, that, you know, the reading itself could be saying that you are being valued more in the world, right? You're getting more value. And the 6 of Wands could also basically say that. So, you know, very good start here, especially for your finances. But let's see what we have going on for you. With the Three of Swords, we have the Three of Swords. So basically, whenever a card repeats itself, it's like the universe is saying I meant what I said. So, definitely could be some healing or some sort of, kind of like forgiveness that you're dealing with. Again, with Mercury retrogrades, we definitely could be being asked to forgive the past or to let go of something from the past. So it doesn't really surprise me. And with the Six of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. A lot of progress in this reading for you, Libra. You have the Knight of Pentacles twice. You have the Page of Wands with the Fool. Sometimes I feel Page of Wands with the Fool is motivation because Page of Wands is enthusiasm. He is just excited to do something in his life. And the Fool is like that leap of faith that you're taking because you are feeling enthusiastic. So, in a lot of ways, I feel that you're feeling excited because you're making progress. And when you're excited because you're making progress, guess what? You can make more progress. And so obviously this would be a good thing for you, Libra. I think you are progressing here and moving forward, which is great. I also feel that some of you could be getting results from the past as well. Sometimes I feel that the Knight of Pentacles, he needs to plant seeds in this field behind him. But sometimes I feel like you already have planted seeds. You've just been waiting for those seeds to sprout. It's like you've done work on whatever, and now you're waiting for a result. So, I don't know. I think you're getting results. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Very intuitive month for whatever reason. And another theme that has been coming up is that we really need to trust our inner voice and our inner wisdom. I think the reason for this is because of Neptune and Pisces. Again, yes, I understand that Neptune is in Aries right now, but Neptune has been in Pisces for a very long time. And so, again, whenever a planet leaves a sign, that's when we really learn the lesson. That's when we actually implement the lessons that we've learned, right? And so the thing with Neptune in Pisces is I think Neptune in Pisces was here to teach, and it is here as well when it retrogrades back into Pisces to teach us to trust ourselves. It's like the world tells us something, like you have to go to school and become a dentist or become an evil lawyer or whatever and do all these things, right? And, that's what you have to do for the rest of your life. And then you retire at 65 and you die from a heart attack because you were stressed out for 40 frickin' years at your job, right? And so that's like what society tells us. Neptune in Pisces is like, why? Why are you doing this? Do you really have a good reason? Is it really true that you have to do that? Or is it an illusion? Are there other ways of doing things, right? And I don't know. I can't answer that question for you, Libra. But, I think that we're all being taught that sometimes maybe our ideas are better than society's ideas, right? Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card says, time to breathe out. Yeah, maybe it's time for a break, right? So you don't die of a heart attack at 65 when you retire, the day after you retire, right? You have this work through your fears card. Yeah, I think that a lot of people, we should be working through their fears right now. You don't have it, but I've seen the Wheel of Fortune a lot in these readings. And the Wheel of Fortune has a snake on it. And the snake, snakes are guardians of portals. And so, snakes represent fears. And to get through the portal, we have to face some sort of fear. And I think that if you're trying to grow or improve something, that the fear that you could be facing is not being good enough with the Five of Pentacles. So the Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. We have to double down on the things that we are truly good at with this card. And that's pretty much what I would do with the Five of Pentacles. There are probably a million reasons for all of us to not do something that we want to do. But if there's one good reason that we should do what we want to do, then we should do it, even if we feel like we're not strong enough. And again, I think a lot of people are feeling this right now, like not feeling like they're not good enough or they're not strong enough or feeling like they don't have the resources necessary to do something. But I'm telling you right now, the people who do whatever they're thinking about doing, starting that business, asking that person out, going on that date, stealing their boss's position, whatever it is that you're trying to do, the people who face the fear are going to be successful. So, that's why I always encourage people to do it. You have the Six of Swords. I'm pretty sure you've been getting the Six of Swords with me, Libra. It's like general improvements coming into your life. As a matter of fact, I think for the week of June 23rd, which those readings were just published on the channel. So if you're watching this before or after, during the week of June 23rd, you might want to go watch that weekly reading if you haven't already. Because, again, I think you had the Six of Swords in that reading, and I was just saying to you how, you could be making general improvements or just kind of like moving on to calmer shores. I don't really feel much here. But I do feel good about it. Again, I feel like it's progress. I feel you're moving forward. You have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords says no jumping to conclusions. Neptune and Aries. So we have Neptune and Aries right now. It will retrograde into Pisces, but next year, January 26th, it'll move back into Aries. For the next 14 years, we should not be jumping to conclusions about things. We should be getting the evidence. We should be looking and seeing if things are true. Just everything, anything. They're pretty much everything that we're dealing with. We shouldn't be just assuming that things are true with the Neptune and Aries energy. So, basically we shouldn't blindly accept things, right? With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Six of Cups. I'm telling you right now, there's like some sort of disease going around with this Mercury retrograde, because I think what it's doing is it's making people realize what they missed out on. So, if I were you, and I'm not you, Libra, I have 0 Libra in my chart. But what I would say here is, if I were you, and if someone came back and they were crying and boo-hooing, flowers, chocolates, the whole 9 yards, little drool dribbling down the side of their face here, the sad eyes, right? I would be ignoring them, plain and simple, because this is like I think a lot of people, for whatever reason, based off the astrology, could be realizing what they've missed out on, right? And so what maybe I'm a little bit too much of a hard-ass, evil, I'm an Aquarius rising, I'm a Pisces, so most people think Pisces are soft, but that Aquarius rising, it gives me that little edge, right, where I just don't care. It's like, if you do something wrong, too bad, so sad. Go cry in the corner. I don't care, right? And so I think that you need to develop a little bit of that hard ass energy here. If someone is coming back with the chocolates, your favorite donut, pink sprinkled donut or whatever, Libra's probably your favorite. So it doesn't matter, right? Too bad, so sad. With the Six of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. Yes, you will find something better. I think you need to believe that in life, not even just in love, Libra. Sometimes I feel like the Four of Cups it can be just us wondering, will I ever find something better in work, in love, in business, in career? Will things ever get better? Sometimes I think this card is just that question, because the Four of Cups can represent the grass, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And there's definitely a person who probably thought that it was. And so I don't care how much they're drooling. They got the crusty little whiteness in the corner of their mouth there. Tears dribbling down their face. Too bad, right? Maybe they pulled some flowers from the side of the road, roots still hanging on. I don't know. It looks pathetic to me in my head. So I would ignore it. But the other thing is, with the Four of Cups, is that, again, it can, I think on a personal level, it can be us saying, like, am I ever going to find something better? The answer is yes. So the Four of Cups says you've learned the lesson. You don't need to repeat the lesson. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, definitely victories. And the only thing you should be focusing on at this time is your truth. What is true for you, not for society. Not what society is telling you to do. We already said this. You need to focus on exactly what you want out of life. And if you do that, I feel things will go very well. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Pigeon card. It says channeling, home, and gentleness. You have this Zebra card. It says spiritual symmetry, distinctiveness, and self-acceptance. Yes, I think that with the Nine of Pentacles there, the better you take care of yourself, the better things will go. Again, Nine of Pentacles, pre-Empress energy, and the Empress is very good at self-care. So anything you can do to take care of yourself with these two cards, things will probably go very well. So that's what I would do there. You have the Knight of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands is a card of spontaneous energy. We also will have Uranus going into Gemini this month, and so on the 12th or whatever it is. So, I think that there is a very spontaneous energy for you air signs. Any random spontaneous opportunities that come in for you, I would just explore them and, see where they go. And, I wouldn't overcommit to anything or any of that. I would mostly also be focusing on research as well. Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords, King of Swords. These are all cards of like really looking into things, not just rushing right into something, but kind of like looking into things and seeing whether or not it's worth it or not to do whatever it is you're thinking about doing, right? You have the King of Swords. King of Swords is about knowledge and wisdom. I kind of feel like this is you, like you've learned a lot. Even the Four of Cups kind of says this. You know, the Four of Cups, he has those 3 cups that are in front of him. And these 3 cups are what he has learned from any situation that he's thinking about. And this other cup here is what he's being offered, right? And so he's being offered this new cup, and this new cup could be just a new opportunity. And so again, with this cup here, it's like, with this King of Swords, I feel like it's saying you know what you know. You have this knowledge and wisdom. Now it's time to apply it to, situations that are coming into your life. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, like slow, steady progress moving forward. I feel a lot of you are, kind of making a lot of like just straightforward, slow, steady progress with the Knight of Pentacles. Again, I don't feel too excited either way about the Knight of Pentacles, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because usually I get excited about this card in the wrong way, because he normally represents no movement. He's the only knight in the tarot that's not doing anything. So the fact that I feel pretty neutral about him in your reading is a good thing, because it means that, you probably are making progress. The other weird thing that I was getting off of this card here, Libra, is that I feel like you already have done a bunch of work, and it's like you're seeing the seeds sprouting of the work that you've done in the past. I have never said that about the Knight of Pentacles. I don't even think that's what the Knight of Pentacles represents, but again, I read intuitively, and that's what I'm getting. So, there you go. I think that a lot of you could be, starting to see some things sprout. And I would pay attention to those sprouts, because, the things that are sprouting in your life, those are the things that are working. And I would double down on whatever that is. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups twice here. I would be following your heart. There's definitely something about that here. It's like there's something about this reading of like what your parents or what society tells you to do and what you want to do, Libra. I think there's a big difference, between like what society says you should be doing and what you want to do. And I think you need to clearly move more towards your heart. You have the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Now, the problem is that usually, I would say what I'm about to say is not actually true. It's just true right now, which is that usually our heart doesn't make sense to us. Especially if we're being logical. King of Swords, Knight of Swords, Ace of Swords. Those are good cards, but, they're cards of trying to logic something. And maybe our heart is telling us to do something that isn't necessarily logical, but actually it is, but you just don't think it is right now, right? Yes, with the King of Swords, you have the Devil. A lot of people have had the Devil, and I've said to, basically what I've said to you already, to everybody else, that we need to be careful of these past people. It just seems, again, there could be something going on where people are realizing what they missed out on, or people could be seeing what they've missed out on, and that definitely could be something that is coming up here with the Devil card. And so I don't know. I also think that the other thing that I would say here, Libra, is I would definitely pay attention to your health. You have the Queen of Cups here, you have the Three of Swords, which is healing. This looks like you are healing, but definitely with the South Node and Virgo right now, I think everybody should be, paying attention to their health and, doing things to take care of themselves. So make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? Can't make it up. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Hermit, which is Virgo. Exactly what I just said. Yes, so don't ignore any problems, that you're having health-wise. And I myself, I don't know if you can see this bruise right here, but I just had about 13 gallons of blood taken out of my body the other day. I had a couple weeks ago, or like last week or whatever it was, I had like a weird health issue that actually turned out to be nothing, but it was probably mental, honestly, right? But what I would say is I didn't ignore it, right? I went and I got literally every freaking test you can possibly get. So, literally, just to make sure, right? And that is very kind of like South Node and Virgo. Like, we shouldn't ignore something. Even if we don't think it is something, we shouldn't ignore it anyway. And that's why I did it, because the South Node was in Virgo. I was like, you know what? This might be nothing, but I'm going to get it taken care of anyway, right? There you go. And so that's what I would do with that card. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Unfolding Beauty card. It says, everything is unfolding as it should. Surrender and live in the unexpected. You have the Scarab Beetle Spirit. It says, what appears unusable may still have great value if you look deeper. Knight of Pentacles. I'm telling you right now, That Knight of Pentacles was saying to me, it's like you've done work on something and it's like sprouting, right? That is this card here. What appears unusable may still have great value if you look deeper. So again, there might be some work that you've done on whatever, a project or yourself or something. And it's like maybe the big picture didn't work, but maybe part of it did, right? Or maybe there are certain elements of the work that you've done that are working. And I would look closer at that. Again, this Unfolding Beauty card is, again, I think things are kind of like unfolding as they should, as that says. You have the Queen of Cups, Ace of Cups, the Fool, and the Page of Wands wanted to come out together. The Queen of Cups is all about you kind of like moving towards your heart. There is like an element of this reading that is kind of saying that you're turning over a new leaf here, Libra. Or, maybe you're kind of living a life more full of passion and joy and, all that other good stuff. So I definitely like to see this for you. You have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups can be a love offer coming in for you. Not really a love reading. I mean, if anything, there probably is a love offer from a past person, which obviously I would ignore or, move away from. There still could be something new coming in for you if you want it. Like I always say, I think love is always available to us. So if you want love, go for it. But I think this Ace of Cups is more about you caring about yourself. Again, really, the whole entire reading, that's what the whole entire reading is saying. Is that the month of July, you should focus on caring about yourself more. And the Ace of Cups is about caring about yourself enough to do things that cause your heart to overflow, meaning things that you enjoy, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, your hobbies, friends that care about you, putting yourself in healthier situations. All that goes into the Ace of Cups because the cup is overflowing. And I think that, creating more overflow in your life would be a good idea. You have the Fool and the Page of Wands, so definitely could be time for you to take some sort of leap of faith towards something you want here, Libra. The Page of Wands is a passionate new beginning, so you could be taking a leap of faith towards something that you're very passionate about. The Fool, he has that tiny little sack on his back there, and the Fool kind of represents, getting started on a journey. And he's about to go on this big, long journey with just that tiny little sack on his back. So sometimes, and I definitely feel this for you right now, Libra, sometimes I feel like the card itself is saying that you're over-prepared for something, meaning it's like definitely time to take a leap of faith. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, we were talking about the Wheel of Fortune a minute ago with the whole snake on the side of the Wheel of Fortune here. So the good news is it's coming up in the good stuff, which says that you probably are facing some sort of fear or overcoming a fear and moving forward. I also feel in the good stuff, the Wheel of Fortune obviously can represent a positive change in your fortunes or things turning in your favor, which is amazing. With the Ace of Cups, you have the... Oh, are you kidding me? I thought we were going to have a reading without it. Here, Libra, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Is the juice worth the squeeze, Libra? Again, I think that you could be looking at things in your life and saying like, hey, some of these things fulfill me, like some of these activities, some of these people, places, and things. Some of these things make me feel better. Some of these things make me feel worse. And so I feel like a lot of you are just focused on, good stuff. With the Page of Wands and the Fool, you have the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I mean, could be love. There could be a new person coming in for you. It's not like a major theme of the reading, but that's okay. It could, maybe it's just not a major theme this month. Maybe it's kind of like a little bit of a side thing. But if you want love, definitely could be love. Knight of Cups can be like a knight in shining armor. You have this Goldfish card. It says increase of material wealth or spiritual growth. Love it. Definitely, money looks very good. I think money for you is going to be some sort of change, though, Libra. So if you are trying to make more money, anything you can do to like grow, put yourself in positions where you can get a raise or a promotion, new positions, any of that stuff is probably going to lead to the most growth financially. You have this vine. It says seek out information that will help you. Yes, all the swords cards, Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords, King of Swords. These are all cards of knowledge and getting as much knowledge as you possibly can. So, again, I would learn more about things that you care about because I think there could be a lot of opportunity in doing more things that you care about. You have this Mule. It says someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Yes, past person. I would definitely be careful of this past person, like I already said, because they're, it's like they can come back whining and crying and all this other stuff, but it's like, if they're still the same, they're still the same. You have this October card and this tulip. It says great passion on it. It is a time of passion. between, I don't think it's going to stop after October. I just think that this is saying, like, between now and October, you are very focused on passions. You have the Ace of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups twice, you have the Knight of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords, which is laser-like focus. I think the more you are focused on things that you're passionate about, things that cause you to overflow, the better your life will be. You have this ant. It says work, achievement, success. Yes, we see a lot of success here. So definitely, Six of Wands as well is an achievement and success. So it could be a lot of success coming in. But this looks very good, Libra. I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.